Greetings. My name is Letitia Hensley, and I'm the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Director of Family and Community Engagement. We are excited that you are joining us today and know you will gain great insight from this session. At the conclusion of today's session, please provide feedback so that we can continue to support you with amazing sessions that will be provided throughout the year. Now, without further ado, we'll turn it over to our presenters.
Good afternoon, CMS families. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Back to School Basics Everything Open House series. If you could take a minute to please complete the Family Academy sign-in for us. We always love to know who is in the room with us so that we can continue to support you throughout the school year and make you aware of any future Family Academy opportunities. The link to today's sign-in can be found in the Q&A section, along with today's slide deck. If you need translation support on today's call, please select Captions in the top right-hand corner of your screen. From the drop-down, select Show Live Captions, then select the language of your choosing. If you need translation support within another language, please select Captions in the top right-hand corner of your screen, Show Live Captions, and from there, please select the language of your choosing from the drop-down. We are excited to engage with you today and want to ensure that today's session meets your needs. If you have any questions during today's call, please use our Q&A feature. Once you click Q&A, a text box will appear. Please type your question and we'll ensure that it is answered within our Q&A time. We also love to engage with you and hear from you. So if you have any aha moments or wows or things that you're excited about learning, please feel free to react and engage with us today so that we ensure the content is meeting your needs. And at this time, I would love to introduce our three fabulous Spotlight principals that will be presenting content today. Thank you to Principal Bessinger from Bailey Middle School, Dr. Potts, the principal from North Ridge Middle School, and Principal Gamble from Mint Hill Middle School, who will be leading us through our Back to School Basics. At this time, I'll turn it over to Principal Bessinger to get us started.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. We appreciate you joining us and hope that you're excited for the start of the 25-26 school year. It's a privilege to be here and just talk a little bit with you today. Start off and just share what we call our CMS placemat. Dr. Hill, every time we have a meeting, she kicks off our meeting and talks to us about the placemat. It highlights our mission, our vision, the district goals that we have from 24 to 29, our core beliefs, and then also the guardrails that help kind of govern and drive all the decision-making that takes place within the district. And down at the bottom, you'll see the 4 pillars of excellence that CMS focuses on. And if you get a chance, check out the CMS website. There's some great articles and videos highlighting some of the excellence that's taking place across the district. Next, we have our 25-26 school calendar, and just going to highlight a couple areas for you to make sure that everybody's aware of, one, how to read the calendar and be aware of upcoming dates and the important dates that will be occurring throughout the school year. On the calendar, you'll see that there's a small key down on the bottom. Anywhere you see a triangle, those are work days. So you'll see next week that our wonderful CMS staff will return. They have 5 work days where they'll be preparing and getting ready for the start of the school year, along with open houses for everyone. Also, you'll see the annual leave, which is a circle. Anytime you see an annual leave day, that is a day where students will not be attending school. So work days and annual leave days, students will not be attending, along with the square where you have holidays. Those will be non-student days as well too. Another area that you want to pay attention to is the diamond area. Those are the early release days. And the early release days, all schools will release 3 hours early on those designated days. So you want to check with your school just to make sure what time exactly your student will be dismissed. But those are scattered throughout the school year on the calendar for you to be able to see and view. Transportation. I know it's a hot topic. Everybody's excited to make sure that we're ready to go at the beginning of the school year. I always let my parents know, please pack your patience the first couple weeks of school. Our transportation department is outstanding. They do a great job, but as with anything, when we start the school year off, there will be some delays. So we just ask for patience and understanding. First step, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you've completed your ridership form. This will make sure that you're eligible for transportation. As long as you've completed that and you're enrolled, you should have bus transportation available for you the first day of school. If you've not done that yet, you need to jump on that quickly and then reach out to your school so they can let you know when that transportation will be eligible. Each school is different, but as far as car riders go, you'll just want to make sure you connect with your school, with your child's teachers to find out how the car rider line will run if you are a car rider. And same goes for walkers and bikers. I know for myself, I have quite a few students who bike, and we have a procedure in place, but you'll just want to make sure, one, that their students are able to walk or bike to the school that they're attending, and then what the procedure and policy is for that mode of transportation. If you have not, I highly encourage you to go ahead and register for Here Comes the Bus. It is a fantastic tool that enables you to see where your child is at all times. It lets you know if the bus is, sort of track the bus, lets us know if it's going to be there on time, if it's running late. It is a great tool to have. Oftentimes we'll get calls to the school asking if we know where a bus is. And it's much easier if you have that on on that app, and you can just look and see, because it is a very reliable app. It's updated and it keeps track of the students. So again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you register for that as soon as possible so you have that great tool available for you when the school year kicks off.
All right, families, it's time to talk about some resources. So we have some resources available here for you. The first resource is the Parent-Student Handbook, right? And I'm going to ask everybody to take a moment and bookmark this. You can actually click the link at the bottom of the presentation slide, and you have access to review school-based handbooks. You have access to give consent, or you can peruse this document to learn about any types of expectations that we may have here in CMS, and you'll reach out to your school for any school-specific information. But definitely bookmark this resource on your phone or your computer. Next, we have the Student Code of Conduct. This is a document that we use as our district demonstrates transparency and clear expectations around student behavior, around expectations to keep a safe and orderly school environment. We use restorative practices. We use alternative approaches to discipline, but you have this resource at your disposal. You can click the link there to access that as you need it and just stay abreast of what we expect in terms of student conduct. And our goal is to maintain a safe building at all times. All right. They say the best ability is availability, right? So we have our CMS attendance policy. And research shows students who attend school more regularly, they have more opportunities to approach, meet, or master the standards. And that's what it's about. We want your students in school as much as possible so they have opportunity to engage with those standards, demonstrate their mastery, and we can push them to their highest levels of potential. There's an attendance policy here at the bottom if you wanted to click that, or if you need to report an absence, you can go to your school's website. This is an example of my school's website here. And if you look here on the right-hand side, there's a button that you can click there that says report absences. There's a convenient little form for you to fill out. It allows parents to be able to do that from home or from wherever you are, so you don't have to come into the school building, and we're able to work closely with you using this document. So definitely, if you have any absences that need to be reported, utilize this tool that's at your disposal. Next, we're going to talk about the new technology guidelines, right? We know everybody loves cell phones, right? Everybody has a cell phone. But on July 1st, 2025, House Bill 959 was passed by state legislation, and CMS will be aligned with this. Okay, CMS will require personal technology devices to be turned off and put away during instructional times. Specific schools will provide guidance to you as to what that will look like in their particular buildings. But please be advised that we are trying to maximize our learning environment. We're trying to be good stewards of instructional time, and this is a part of that. Also, last but not least, I have to say this: violations of the personal technology device expectation will receive consequences according to the Student Code of Conduct. All right, we also have CMS technology guidance. Students are provided with a device, a charger, which they're responsible for maintaining and securing. We are really pushing responsibility of our students, especially at the middle school level, because we want to plant those seeds of responsibility so they flourish even more in high school. And part of that is around taking care of your device, making sure you don't break it, making sure you don't lose it, and making sure you have it at school every day. Specific schools will give you guidance around their technology expectations and the instructional tools, digital tools that children will be using in those particular buildings. But please be abreast of this information as well.
Good afternoon, parents. We are at the point where we want to talk a little bit with you about the assessments that we take throughout the year. There are a few assessments that your children will be taking from 6th through 8th grade, and those resources can be found on our district website. They are the Learning at Home resources. But I want to highlight, if you look in the red boxes, for 6th K through 8, which will include your 6th through 8th grader, your middle schooler, we have the iReady Universal Screener. And that is an online program that will assess and support students' learning in reading and math. It does offer a personalized instruction after a diagnostic assessment. So if you hear your child come home and talk about, I'm utilizing iReady, this is what they are doing. And you can get more information about this on our Learning at Home resource page. Also, we will take 2 MVPA or benchmark assessments throughout the year, and this is used to measure our students' progress toward mastery on their content standards, and it is to predict their performance on the end of grade state assessments that we take every year. And we also have their EOG assessment, which you are very familiar with. Those are our state assessments that we take every year. They are conducted in reading and math. And for your 8th grader, they also will have an 8th grade end of grade assessment. So how do we get to the assessments at the end of the year? Our curriculum. Throughout the year, your students will be following a viable curriculum as followed by the North Carolina Department of Instruction. We have to follow our standards that are implemented. So how do we do that? For ELA, we have what's called the L curriculum, and that is our core literacy program. It is comprehensive and it is standard aligned. We have our Open Up curriculum for math, and that curriculum is student-centered. It focuses on problem solving, collaborative learning, and sharing strategies. This is the curriculum your child will be using for math. Then we have a CMS curriculum for their science and their social studies. And then CTE and world languages, there are supports. We have an elective catalog. Each school has various electives and CTE courses that they will provide for your students. And then there's, for the STEM lab buildings, there are 21st century skills and work products as such as the Paxton Patterson Lab. You can find more resources on the middle school resource page, just general school resources, as well as if you want to break this down per grade level so that you can see what your children are doing. I do implore you to come to our curriculum night that each of us will have throughout the year in order to dig more into the curriculum and find out what your child will be doing in their specific classroom with each content area.
So you've heard all about the curriculum supports that we have throughout the district in middle school, but we also have several social emotional supports as well too. If you remember back to the placemat I spoke about at the beginning of the presentation, one of the guardrails speaks about the importance of social well-being for our students. We have two programs that our middle school students will work with this year. One is called Sources of Strength, and the second one is Capturing Kids' Hearts. Sources of Strength is a peer-led program that really promotes building resilience and connection for our middle school students. They'll work on, we'll have peers who are leading initiatives throughout the building to make our building a better place and provide more connections for our students. Capturing the Kid's Heart is a relationship-centered approach used by our staff. At the beginning of the year, staff will work with our students to develop social contracts or expectations for their classrooms that are student-led, and with the goal of our students taking ownership of the classroom and responsibility for what's taking place in the classroom. It's a great program to help build empathy and positive behaviors for our students as well too. So through both of these programs, we really focus on the well-being of our students. Also, all schools have guidance counselors that are accessible for students and also for parents. So that's always a great resource for parents to reach out to if there's a concern throughout the year. We also encourage and really work with our students to reach out to those guidance counselors as needed to ensure that they're feeling great about what's happening within school.
All right, it's time for immunizations. All right, so this table will provide you with a list of immunizations by grade level. Please take a look at this table and make a note if you in fact have to satisfy an immunization requirement. I ask that you work closely with your school, the school nurse, and the team that's designated at your school to ensure all medications are administered properly and that you are in compliance with the immunization requirements for the district. Next, we have eligibility and requirements for athletics. It's time for some extracurricular activities. All right, who can participate? So we have students in 7th and 8th grade. They are eligible to try out for school sports teams. I'm sorry, 6th graders. You aren't able to participate just yet. We would really like for you to focus on that transition from elementary to middle school. That is a transition in itself, but you will have an opportunity down the road. Your time will come. What's needed to try out for our 7th and 8th graders? A completed physical exam must be submitted for tryouts. And where do we submit these forms? Families can access and upload paperwork directly into the Dragonfly app. If you have any questions, reach out to your school's athletic director.
All right, parents, get ready, get ready. Infinite Campus is here. We have gotten started on a new portal for you. Most of you all have been familiar, of course, with Power School, but we have now switched over, and hopefully all of you have switched over to Infinite Campus. What is Infinite Campus? It is the one-stop comprehensive student information center. You'll be able to see grades, attendance, schedules, communicate with your teachers. You also, one of the big changes is you will be able to place forms inside of Infinite Campus. So all of those forms that you fill out every year, and you have to do 1,000 signatures from every one of your children, whether they're elementary or middle school or high school. Now, all of these things will go through Infinite Campus. During our open houses, which will begin next week, you will be able to get support with Infinite Campus if you was not able to get on at this point, but most of you all should have gone into Infinite Campus at this point. You should be able to see your child's actual schedule. If not, you will be able to get support. Until then, there will also be a Family Academy Lunch and Learn that will be held on Tuesday, August the 19th at 12 o'clock p.m. You can log into this using a bit.ly, which is bit.ly/CMS Family Academy. And you will be able to go in and get some support and learn more about Infinite Campus. There will be access to Infinite Campus through the parent portal. So you will be able to see everything through a parent portal. This is what you need to sign up on. The target is that 95% of our parents and guardians have this parent portal by September the 30th, 2025. So please make sure if you are having any trouble, make sure that you reach out to your school, your child's school, so that you can get support getting onto Infinite Campus, because it is going to be pertinent that you know everything that is happening with your child through this platform. Infinite Campus will also, there's also an app for Infinite Campus. So for those of us, we do everything by our cell phones. And if you want to know what's happening, if you're at work and you want to know what's happening with those grades, put that app on your phone. Just do a few clicks. You'll be able to see announcements from the teachers. You'll be able to see those assignments. You'll be able to see their attendance, grades, everything by the app as well. So if you aren't able to always get on a computer, you will be able to download the app and get on to see everything about your child. Again, if you have any problems, make sure you attend open house, and there will be someone at our open houses to support you. And lastly, we also have our Parent Square. We did have Parent Square last year, but if you are new to CMS, you need to make sure that you do download the Parent Square platform. We also have this as an app as well, but this is our district-wide communication platform that schools use to connect with our families and schools. Teachers, administrators, district level communication, all of this flows through our Parent Square. You'll be able to communicate with individual teachers. You'll be able to communicate with individual administrators as well. So make sure everything on Parent Square, we have all begun to push out information on Parent Square. So make sure you have that, because that is the best access to know what is going on in our schools on a daily basis.
All right, so we've made it to open house now, and what are some of those questions that would be great to ask your child's teacher? Well, hopefully you were able to receive some of those answers on today while you joined us today. Hopefully we answered some of the things for you. But here are a list of a few things that may be good questions to ask. Keep in mind that time during open house can be limited. So it may not be, you may not be able to speak with the teacher for an extended period of time, but if there's some questions that you need to ask, that is a great time to be able to do that. Your child during the first week of school will hopefully learn and be able to answer a lot of these questions for you after visiting. I know for our school, we're doing a sixth grade orientation. I know a lot of times our sixth grade parents have a lot of questions and are learning with their child as well too as their first experience in middle school. So a lot of those questions hopefully will be answered for you when you get to your open house. And then just a few things to remember that will hopefully make your open house experience a little more successful. Bring, something to take notes on would be very, very helpful. If you have, as I mentioned, that time might be limited. So if you need to follow up with your child's teacher or with the guidance counselor or someone at the school, you may want to reach out to them with any additional questions that you may have. Make sure your student is involved. And I think as they, again, speaking for those sixth graders, as they transition to middle school, the more involved they are in the experience, starting with open house, the more successful they are throughout their venture in middle school. So make sure they're part of it. Make sure they're asking questions as well, too. They're meeting with their teacher when they attend open house. And so they're a big part of the whole event. And then connect. There are many opportunities throughout all of our schools and CMS to volunteer, to support the schools. You can do that through PTOs. You can do that through our school leadership teams, multiple ways that you can get involved. And we're always looking for that support from our families.
Thank you. And at this time, families will go ahead and answer some of our questions from the Q&A. If you have not had the chance to do so already, if you would please take a moment and complete the Family Academy sign-in that is pinned to the top of the Q&A section. So for our principal panel, one of our first questions today is, a family has transitioned from one school pathway into another, and their child will be entering into sixth grade. There's a little delay with student placement confirming enrollment, and they are concerned regarding choice electives, what advice or guidance would you give a family as they might navigate that situation?
I'll go ahead and start. I know I think we're all schools are in that same situation as the parents are facing. We do our best to work with students when they come in, whether it's at the beginning of the school year or throughout the school year, to meet the needs of their class selection to the best we can. Sometimes courses may be full, but we will do everything we can to make sure that we are able to ensure that they're getting their core classes and then those elective classes that match up to what they're requesting to the best of the ability at that time. I know oftentimes schools are also, especially with the rising sixth graders, are working with those schools prior. They'll reach out to them. If we know someone's coming, we haven't received that enrollment, we are sometimes proactive and reach out to the schools to try to get information so that we have an idea about where to place that student. Schools will work with you the best they can, and there are a lot of parents in that situation, but know that the schools are prepared to help out and make the best of the situation.
Thank you. A second question we received from families, when will the open house hours be shared by the school? If you could expand upon how to best stay connected and learn about those events.
I can take that one. So if you go back to, if you look on Parent Square, most of our schools may have posted those open house hours on Parent Square with a flyer. So go to your Parent Square and see if that is posted. If not, I would contact the school, but most of them are posted on Parent Square at this point, and principals are pushing them out all throughout the week to make sure that they're pushed down so that you know. We do have different hours. It is based on the school, but they all are on the 19th of Tuesday, the 19th of August, middle schools.
Thank you so much for that answer. Families, make sure to check out the Parent Square and confirm when your open house will be taking place. At this time, we have come to the end of our questions in the Q&A section. Families, if there are any additional questions, please feel free to send them in one of the open cells in the sign-in form, or reach out to our department, Family and Community Engagement, or connect directly with your school for additional support as we begin a successful school year in the coming weeks. A special thank you to our 3 Spotlight principals, Principal Bessinger, Principal Gamble, and Principal Potts, for sharing their time and expertise today as we prepare. And we hope everyone has a safe and successful school year. Have a wonderful afternoon.